It would appear that even the brightest glow can be snuffed out. Oh, yes. Let's talk about SmackDown. What's going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal, Spaz Phoenix, the YWC Reality Check, here with your glorious, to borrow a phrase from Bobby Roode, February 21st SmackDown Live review. I'm in a good mood tonight, guys. I'm in a good mood. It's always cool when you hear a lost and found story. You know, somebody's puppy runs away, they get it back. Somebody's kid gets lost in the mall. They find them in security or whatever the case may be. But when you lose an item, when you misplace something as valuable as the Women's Championship, like the women's roster did on SmackDown 8 days ago, 8 days of torment for the rightful champion Alexa Bliss, when you misplace something that valuable, it's always cool when you find it again, even if it ended up in the trash. Oh yes. So we start off the show with a recap of Bray Wyatt's week last week, him winning at the Chamber, him winning again on SmackDown, and Orton's announcement that he will not face his master at WrestleMania, which is bullshit, but we'll get to that when we get to it. I do have to say, and I went back and I watched it again after I read this article, apparently, if you believe the dirt sheets and the podcasts that are out there and whatnot, John Cena insisted on putting over Bray Wyatt at the Chamber, and then again more definitively on SmackDown last week. If that's true, very cool. If you go back and replay their triple threat match from last week on SmackDown, you can actually hear, as Bray Wyatt's getting the pin, John Cena say something to the effect of, "You're the real champion now." And for anything you want to say about John Cena, you guys know one of my most popular videos on this channel was the Cena-Apocalypse, top 50 reasons why John Cena is killing professional wrestling. And I stand by a lot of the things that I said back then, but you gotta give the guy, especially in his part-time, really pulled back role that he's doing now, you gotta give him credit for putting over somebody like Bray Wyatt. Because a couple years ago, Bray Wyatt got his big chance at WrestleMania to face John Cena, and we all knew he was doomed. So there's been some growth there. There's been some flex, some change in the either in John Cena using his powers for good, if I can use a cliche, or WWE in how they're using John Cena now that he's a part-time guy. But Daniel Bryan comes up, he starts talking about a lot of hype in WrestleMania, he starts talking about the bends in the road towards WrestleMania, and he brings out some random jobber that found Alexa Bliss's championship, puts over the jobber to, they did a good deed, I guess, they returned property to its rightful owner, takes back the women's title from that jobber, and the jobber cries in the ring. I mean, I'm not sure who this chick was. I mean, it might be the first and only time she's ever been in the ring. I doubt she can wrestle, but Alexa Bliss comes out to get her title back, mocks the jobber for her sob story, and she says, "I'm owed a rematch that this said jobber can't give me because this jobber, while finding my title in the trash, broke her leg or did some other thing, pulled a muscle, broke a finger, snapped a fingernail, something like that. Seeing as all of my arms and legs work, why don't you just give me what's mine?" Bryan says he is partially in agreement and says that she is the last, able-bodied champion, but I'm going to make you fight for it against the first ever SmackDown Women's Champion, which is all good because it brings us to the first match of the night, which is Alexa Bliss versus, indeed, the first SmackDown Live Women's Champion, Becky Lynch. Cool. Very cool. Alexa Bliss proving once again that she's awesome. Best heel on the SmackDown roster, unless you want to go with somebody like a Baron Corbin, but that's another story for it. Or The Miz. Why am I leaving my boy The Miz out? Samoa Joe ended up on Raw, and that's sad. By the way, Raw's main event was Big Show and Braun Strowman. I'm just putting that one out there. But Alexa Bliss versus Becky Lynch was kind of quick. Collar and elbow tie-up and a shoving match to start. They trade some early pin attempts, an enziguri by Lynch, shoulder tackle and a trip. Pinning reversal sequence, and Bliss eats the turnbuckle hard. Lynch works the arm with it, but it's countered by an STO by Bliss and a knee lift in the gut, and then a knee lift in the back. That double jumping knee lift to the back that she does while Becky Lynch is across the ropes. Kitchen sink by Bliss, exploder suplex by Lynch, corner forearm and boots and another exploder by Lynch. The exploder suplex by Becky Lynch is great. If you all listen to the Taz podcast, you know, Taz the Human Suplex Machine, goes into great detail, quite a bit, about Becky Lynch and the styles of suplexes that she uses. And the more I listen to him, yeah, it makes me a little biased, I guess, but the more I listen to him, the more I watch what Becky Lynch does. Some of the throws that she pulls off are pretty damn great. Top rope dropkick by Lynch, but a quick shot to the throat and a roll-up gets the win for Bliss. Alexa celebrates with Mickie James on the ramp, then Mickie James goes and brawls with Becky Lynch. Because she can. Oh, yes. Great opening segment. Great match, even though it was short. Very, very cool, storyline-wise, that they just didn't hand it back to Alexa Bliss. They made her fight somebody. It would have been kind of cool. We know where Nikki Bella is going at WrestleMania. We know that. But if that wasn't the case, I really would have loved... Why? I'm doing a video. Why? Why? I would have loved to see Alexa Bliss versus babyface Nikki Bella. I think that would have been kind of cool, but unfortunately, that's not something we're going to get. Last week, we heard Randy Orton say that he will not fight his master at WrestleMania. He will not take the opportunity provided to him by winning the Royal Rumble and get a title shot at WrestleMania. So Daniel Bryan, during Talking Smack, here's another little thing I gotta tell you guys. Since they restructured the schedule on WWE Network, it used to be SmackDown and then you'd immediately get Talking Smack, which was fine because I'd watch it for an extra 20 minutes, give you guys a little, you know, whatever little tidbits of news came out of Talking Smack. I'm not going to do that now because that would mean me waiting for another hour until 205 Live is done to listen to Talking Smack, and then I'd be recording this at midnight, and I'd go back to it being ridiculous o'clock. So I'm not going to do that. But last week, Daniel Bryan did announce with Renee Young that there would be a 10-man... Well, he didn't announce that it was going to be 10 men. He just announced that it was going to be a battle royal for the #1 contendership. And throughout the night, I'm not going to go through all of these because they're pretty generic and cookie cutter throughout the night, but we hear backstage segments from all 10 men that are going to be taking place in this battle royal tonight. Dean Ambrose, John Cena, AJ Styles, Baron Corbin, Apollo Crews, why? Kalisto, why? Luke Harper, The Miz, Mojo Rawley, why? And Dolph Ziggler. I guess they had to fill out the field. When we get to the battle royal, it takes up about a half hour, so I guess they had to have more than 6 people. Natalya cuts a cringe-worthy promo about her Falls Count Anywhere match later on tonight with Natalya. Breezango versus American Alpha makes me roll my eyes because, as you know, I like the team of Breezango. I like Tyler Breeze, I like Fandango. Not because of their gimmick. Both of their gimmicks, both separately and collectively, are shit. The whole Breezango, the whole Fashion Police, all that shit is just crap. But these guys, as a team, as a physical tag team in the ring, they work really well. But then you put them in there with American Alpha, who are over as shit, and you think this is going to be a squash match. But they start with some cheap shots by Breezango, so we have a momentary flurry of offense from Breezango that we don't usually get, with a kitchen sink and some jabs by Fandango. They hang Jordan on the ropes. This is kind of a cool spot, actually. They hang Jordan on the ropes, and both members of Breezango give him sort of a super kick sandwich to either side of his head, which is kind of cool. Mounted punches by Breeze and a front face lock, but American Alpha get the hot tag, electric chair bulldog. They don't even need to hit the grand amplitude. That's how much the bookers think of Breezango, and the American Alpha get the win. And Usos come out of the crowd, and if you didn't get the memo, the Usos are kind of thuggish now. So they cut a long, drawn-out, thuggish promo from the crowd, and it is what it is. We're barreling towards WrestleMania and American Alpha versus the Usos again, which will be a great match. But we've seen it. I don't know what else to say. In the back, Nikki Bella shows Natty how a promo was supposed to be cut, and then we get the Nikki versus Natty Falls Count Anywhere match, which isn't the greatest thing in the world. I'll give you that, but I do think it's kind of cool that SmackDown, not WWE as a whole, obviously, SmackDown is able to tell you multiple women's stories in one night, even though it's only a 2-hour show. Imagine that. Spear and mounted punches by Nikki to start, and then she hits that facebuster across the knee that she usually does to set up for the Rack Attack version 2, but she does it right at the beginning, which is different, which sets the pace for the rest of the match. Boot by Natty on the outside, kendo stick shots by Nikki. Natty eats the guardrail, she's tossed over out into the crowd. Nikki eats the safety rail, and she's tossed into the tech area. Enziguri off the rail by Nikki, and Natty hits a mudhole stomp against the guardrail. At this point, I will say it was comical how clearly you could hear the two of them calling their shots. I like SmackDown, I like both of these women to a certain extent, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to call them when I can hear them calling their shots as loud as they're talking their shit to each other. It's kind of funny. It made me chuckle. Tosses Nikki into the steps, forearm by Nikki, and a boot Alabama slam on the commentator table by Nikki. The table didn't break, because clearly she's taking lessons from the book of Charlotte and Hell in the Cell and all that shit. Commercial break, comeback, snapmare off the top rope by Natty, but they brawl backstage. Natty tosses Nikki into Maurice in the back. And it's so awkwardly it's so awkward how they're trying to shoehorn that mixed tag, a story together for that mixed tag match that's happening at WrestleMania. But it's kind of funny. She tosses her into Maurice in the back. Nikki drives Natty through a backstage mirror, which is a decent shot if we hadn't seen the TV shot by Jericho last week. Spear on the ramp by Nikki, and she locks in that fearless lock, that supine extended version of the STF, which is a decent move and would have gotten the win, but Maurice comes down with a pipe and beats the hell out of Nikki Bella with the pipe, and the acting from Maurice is terrible and it makes me laugh. Miz actually comes out to be the voice of reason, which makes me laugh even more, and Natty gets the obvious win after she gets attacked by a pipe, and there's a Carla Homolka joke made on commentary, and that's kind of cringeworthy. But we quickly move on to an announcement that was made last night on Raw. Might as well make the announcement on SmackDown because Raw fucking sucks dick and I don't want to talk about it. Diamond Dallas Page. The worst kept secret in WWE in dirt sheet history. Diamond Dallas Page is going into the 2017 class of the WWE Hall of Fame. Well deserved and all that, but like when the rumors first started circulating, his name was one of the first ones to go around. I said it on Twitter, I'll say it again here. The only thing that's unfortunate about this is, if you ask me personally, not only for his work in WCW, his brief work in WWE, but also what he's done for wrestlers since leaving wrestling with the DDP Yoga, saving guys like Jake the Snake, saving guys like Scott Hall, etc. He deserves to headline a Hall of Fame, in my opinion. He's not going to headline this Hall of Fame when you consider the fact that Kurt Angle's going in there, and Kurt Angle's credentials and so forth. That's kind of unfortunate. What else is unfortunate is I know his music in WCW was, I think it was a takeoff of Nirvana, not sure. They didn't even do anything to bother hiding the fact that it was a takeoff of Nirvana, which is kind of sad. But his music in WWE was always really, really shit. It was like generic rock 8. But that's the music that was playing in the background when they announced him, and they put up the big placard with, you know, Diamond Dallas Page, you know, 2017 Hall of Fame, Roddy Roddy Raw. It makes me wonder who's going to induct him. I mean, you could see somebody like Sting. You could definitely see some of the people he's helped, like a Jake the Snake, like a Scott Hall. I know Chris Jericho is very vocal about how Diamond Dallas Page has helped various wrestlers behind the scenes, you know, without really sticking out and getting himself any credit for it. So I have to believe that whoever inducts him is going to be somebody that he's helped along the way. He helped Scott Hall get to a point where he could be inducted into the Hall of Fame himself. He helped Jake Roberts get to the point where he could be inducted into the Hall of Fame himself. They did it in the same year. I thought it would have been a really cool trifecta if they had inducted Diamond Dallas Page the same year. Those three guys could have all inducted each other, couldn't they, really? But if you get Jake the Snake Roberts and Scott Hall collectively inducting their, I guess, mentor, for lack of a better term, I think that would be a really cool thing. But they don't mention, they used to mention who was doing the inducting when they announced the inductees, but they don't really do that anymore, and I don't get it. I don't really care. The number one contenders 10-man battle royal starts off as a brawl, like most multiple-man matches do, but you see the individual stories setting up in this match. Ambrose and Corbin square off immediately. Cruz and Ziggler square off immediately. Ziggler and Styles double team Cena, which is funny because Ziggler and Styles fought for the WWE Championship not too long ago. So once again, you got to solidify by association this heel turn by Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler and Ambrose trade punches on the apron. Deep six on the Miz by Corbin, who tosses out Mojo. Mojo is eliminated. Super kick by Harper on Corbin. I guess a mosquito-like flurry by Kalisto. Why? Seriously. I'm doing a vid here. Why? Ah, I lost my place. Fucking Christ. Cruz kicks Ziggler off the apron, and he is eliminated. Super kick by sorry. This is why you don't get distracted by your phone. Ziggler super kicks Kalisto off the apron, and he's eliminated. Cruz kicks Ziggler off the apron, and he's eliminated. Ziggler beats down Kalisto with a chair on the outside, as is his new MO. Corbin's distracted, and he gets tossed out by Cruz, and he's eliminated. Styles and Cena trade punches to a huge ovation, and that's broken up by a super kick by Harper. Lariat by Ambrose to Corbin. Miz corner drop kicks everybody. Here's the deal. There's 5 guys left in the ring with Miz. He does the Daniel Bryan yes chants. It's all good. Miz corner drop kicks to all 4 corners. That running drop kick that Daniel Bryan used to do. 2 Styles, 2 Harper, 2 Ambrose, 2 Corbin, and who is left in the center to eat? Say it loud and say it proud. The Daniel Bryan silly kicks from The Miz. Oh yes, it's his opponent from WrestleMania 27, John Cena, and that just makes me laugh. John Cena responds by tossing out The Miz, and he's eliminated. I'm a little disheartened, but it gets so much better. End of days on Cena, Ambrose tosses out Corbin, and he's eliminated. End of days on Ambrose on the floor, even though he's not eliminated because he went under the top rope by Corbin. Miz returns in all this flurry and tosses out John Cena, which makes me laugh a whole fucking lot. He's eliminated. Don't get it twisted. All the credit I give John Cena is well and due and fully deserved. But it doesn't mean I'm not a Miz fan, and it doesn't mean Miz getting one over on John Cena isn't going to make me say, oh, ho, ho, yes. Styles and Harper remain with Ambrose still injured on the outside. They trade punches and they struggle on the ropes. Ambrose returns, and all 3 of them stand on the apron of the ring. Harper kicks Ambrose off, and he's eliminated. They go into the ring, and they brawl. And I stop writing notes at this point, because either we're going to get the very, very predictable thing, or we're going to get AJ Styles versus Bray Wyatt, which I wouldn't mind either way. Backpack sleeper by Styles. Both men brawl to the top turnbuckle, and both of them fall off at the same time, giving us the classic Battle Royal dusty finish. The referee, 4 referees around the outside of the ring, which I didn't notice until the friggin' ending, obviously. But didn't notice that there was 4 referees out there. They're all arguing. Daniel Bryan comes out. He talks to all 4 referees, and he makes the decision. Not the 4 referees that are out there. Daniel Bryan, who was in the back while the match was happening, he makes the decision that the match is a draw, and we will determine a winner next week. Hopefully, that means it's going to be a one-on-one match. Not that we're going to restart the Battle Royal and these guys are going to have some bullshit over-the-top rope challenge, which would just be really lame. And we finish it off with a jump scare and a very, very awesome image of Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton by his side, laughing maniacally as we go off. So, we're building the Wyatt story. We're still giving AJ Styles a little bit of credit. The WWE SmackDown Live Women's Championship is back where it should be. I think we know where we're going with the tag team division. We've got Cruz versus Ziggler in the mix. We've got Ambrose versus Corbin in the mix, and we're setting up for that mixed tag match that everybody else hates and I'm just laughing at. SmackDown is once again killing it, and yes, partially because they took out the trash. Oh yes, I've been Spaz, your YWC reality check. Subscribe up there, talk down there, start a conversation, keep all these conversations going. Don't be a stranger. I will talk to each and every last one of you later, but for right now I am tagging out. Bye guys.